Brooke Boudreaux from Circle Food Store. And I guess we're here to talk about how to turn lemons into lemonade or lemonade and vodka. I guess whatever suits your boat or whatever. What I'm going to talk about is a little different. We got a little bit of different story here. Circle Food Store. So basically, the first part of the story is what I made with lemons. The second part is what I'm making with lemons right now. This is a lemon. It's undesirable, you know, nobody wants it, or maybe somebody wants it, but they want it probably to work on it. It looks kind of cool, but it needs a lot of work. This is our lemon. Katrina was our lemon. You know, if you haven't heard the story, just go look it up. I'm not going to go through that. The store was opened in 1938, though. So, you know, it was really old, and this happened in almost 10 years ago. So if you haven't heard the story, honestly, give it a month because they're doing everything for the 10-year anniversary. Well, basically what happened was it took us 8 years to rebuild. And this was one of those community stores in the Treme area, 7th Ward of New Orleans, mostly black, educated, middle-class Americans. And then this happened, and it completely flooded the store. Different things led to us not being able to reopen, where we didn't even know if we would be able to reopen. But ultimately, we were able to reopen. That is not the story I'm going to tell you today. That is not my story. These lemons, this is my dad's lemon. He did this, he fixed it up, he made his lemonade, and he handed me some lemons of my own. So, basically, Circle is a staple of the community. If I have to say that one more time. I mean, everybody knows it at this point. It's a landmark, it's historic, it's an icon. I hate the word icon. Every time somebody brings this up to me, all I can think is, that sounds great. But when I think of it, I'm just kind of like, okay, got it. It's beautiful. You know, I guess this was in the 60s, you know, and everybody has a story about it. Everybody comes up and tells me all the stories about how their family used to go there, and they love the store. They can remember their grandmother used to send them to the store 200 times a day. And I love hearing these stories. But it's not 1948. It's not 1968. It's not 1998. It's not 2008. It's 2015. This is Aretha Franklin. In the 60s, I believe. I didn't look that much into it. But I just thought it was a great picture of her. It was in black and white. I could make some correlations there. So basically, what I'm saying is, Aretha Franklin is an icon. She's awesome, very relevant in her day. But I'm running a grocery store. I don't want to be an icon. I don't want to be relevant 40 years ago. I gotta sell groceries today. I look at it, every time you say icon to me or historic, I think old. It is historic, it's beautiful. It's one of the oldest markets, the oldest black-owned grocery stores. It's one of only 6 black-owned grocery stores in the country, if you didn't know that. But I look at it a little bit, when people think of it, it's outdated. Although we have a beautiful new building now, new products, everything. But when people think of us, they don't think of new, fresh store. They think of what Circle used to be. And I'm happy that they think of us at all. But that is not driving them to come pick out some smoked Buddha. Here's Aretha Franklin, vaguely in the last decade. I think. Again, I didn't do that much research. I'm telling a story. Aretha Franklin is great. You hear her songs on the radio, you're like, that is my jam. I grew up listening to this song. My mom had it on all the time. Great, awesome. If, though, tomorrow you turn on the radio, and you were like, Aretha Franklin, she's doing a song with Beyonce. You'd be like, maybe not. She's doing a song with Drake. Your face probably looks like this. You know, I get this side eye every day. That's kind of the point I'm making. Every time I want to do something different, I get a side eye from my dad. from the people who work there, from the community, because everybody wants to think of us the way we were. And I'm like, if that was still working, that would be great, but things have to change. So here are my limits. I have to sit there and give a side eye every day. Every new thing I'm doing, I'm getting a side eye from everybody. So again, everyone thinks, oh, this is the lemon that they have to deal with, the struggle. I understand it. Honestly, I don't feel like we're that special. Everybody has to deal with this. This is my limit. This nostalgia is killing me. And I just, everybody looks at these cars and like, those are cool cars. Nobody's going out to buy those cars though. Everybody wants Bugattis and whatever else people are singing about these days. Those are nice to look at. You see one of those in like some Maroney neighborhood, and you're like, ooh, they restored this awesome car, but you're not gonna go buy one yourself. All right, so bottom line for me is I'm still making my money. All these people up here, they're very successful, they're doing what they gotta do, and we're still human beings, and I have conversed on Twitter a lot. I'm pretty big on Twitter. I'm not that big in real life though. And I've been to the Midnight Summer's Dream thing a few times actually. Back in the day when I was not really working a lot, just kind of playing it off and pretending to be a PR consultant so I can get into things like that for free. Richard actually sent me an email a couple of months ago like, are you still doing PR? I'm like, no, I actually have a real job now. So,
I'll still let you in for free.
Awesome, I can't wait. So basically, I'm just saying that I'm tired of people looking at us like this. This is our old logo. This is the logo we started with when we reopened 2 years ago. Everyone's like, oh, that's great. It looks kind of old or something. That is an abandoned building, people. Nobody looks at it. We were closed. And people still were like, oh, no, that's great. It looks nostalgia. Nostalgia is killing it. I told you. This is our new logo. Again, I got so much side eye. I just unveiled this 2 weeks ago. But the things I have to deal with, my marketing person gave me a couple of different ideas. And I went through all of them, and they were very New Orleans-y and all that. And I'm like, great, pick that one. And she's like, I'm like, you don't like it, because she gave me a side. And she's like, well, I kind of thought you would go with this one. And I'm like, I'm in marketing. I know what y'all do. They set it up in such a way that they think you're going to pick, the one they want you to pick. And I'm like, no, that one. She's like, well, it doesn't really say much about history or New Orleans. I'm like, great. Because you know what? All I can think about the future is the future. I'm not thinking about 60 years ago. I wasn't alive back then. I just know that for us to maintain any sort of relationship with the community, in order for us to serve in food deserts, we have to be here. So I have to grow, I have to make money. And we can talk all we want about, how to serve the community, but I can't serve the community without making some money. So please come out and buy some groceries.